Hello, parents of the Aquarius child. How are you? I hope everyone's doing well today. I am Elena Valdez, and welcome to this new channel, Art by Elena Valdez. I'm so excited to be here today. I have been wanting to create this channel for such a long time now. I will be offering a different playlist. So this one here is what your child needs most from you. And of course, it's going to be for every month. This will be a monthly read. I wanted to create something that had some sort of guidance for parents, guardians, anybody who is taking care of children at the moment. There's so much going on in the world with politics and the pandemic and so many other things going on in the world, and not to mention all of our astrological transits that we're all experiencing at the moment in different ways. But anyhow, please keep looking out for more videos. I'm going to change it up a bit, I'm sure, as I evolve here on YouTube. I'm expecting glitches, so please be patient with anything, this first round, and I'm going to clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up moving forward. But anyhow, welcome. And if you have any suggestions, comments, the spread that I have created here for this particular read has 3 questions, and I end with an advice card for the parent. So if there is a question that you would like me to incorporate into my reading moving forward or into this spread, please feel free to put it down below in the comments. And also, please make sure to like the video if it does resonate for you. And yeah, all the information that you may need to contact me is down below. And okay, so let's get started. This is for the parent of the Aquarius child. And I have here this beautiful little deck. And this is here, let me show you the little booklet. It's Mons Tarot, and I chose this because we are asking these questions from the perspective of the child. So I wanted to get something or use a deck that could, speak to that energy. And it's adorable, it's cute, it's sweet. And yeah, so let's get started. Aquarius child. Here we go. And I have already pre-shuffled the cards. But I know how important it is for us to actually see the shuffle, right? Gives us peace of mind. I hope everyone's doing well. I am recording this the last couple of days here in September. I hope this reaches you on time and when you need it. Now. Yeah, we're ready. Okay, so the first position here is, what does your Aquarius child, what is your Aquarius child experiencing during the month of October? Spirit, what is the Aquarius child? Oh, that was quick. Okay, I'm going to take it. I wanted to flip. I'm taking it. Very nice. Aren't these cute? Look, check this out. I love it. All right, so that's what your Aquarius child is experiencing in the month of October, and I'll get to it in a bit. And the next position is, what are the challenges your little Aquarius is facing in the month of October? Whoa, that one flipped. So there you go. That's 2 of Pentacles. All right. And the third position is, what does your child need most from you? Which I really feel this is the most important question, which is why I've titled this playlist that. So what does the Aquarius child need most from his or her parent or guardian the month of October? And by the way, if you're a foster parent, this definitely applies. Again, anyone taking care or who has the responsibility. Wow. Yeah. These are great. Wow, you have quite an evolved child on your hands, don't you? cutie pie. Okay, so we'll get right to it. All right, so the first position here, what your child is experiencing is the King of Swords. And I love, love, love this coming up in this position, because what this means is that your child is really gotten the hang of communicating his or her truth, right? So you probably have a child right now who's very much evolving in their speech, the way they express themselves with their words, their writing as well, and any creative endeavors. I feel a lot of creativity coming through here in terms of writing projects, speaking, maybe even, I was going to say a little gossipy, but actually not gossipy in a low level energy gossipy, more about, I'm going to call it storytelling. I really am feeling that some of you here are dealing with Aquarius children who have really tapped into their storytelling abilities. You see, because you have this little guy here who is very much in his little power, but also experiencing a very fantastical life, right? With the little bat behind him. He's got little butterflies, and he's just completely immersed and confident and comfortable. It's almost like he's in his element, right? So you may be noticing in the month of October, whatever changes have happened in your environment, because I do feel changes here. So whatever changes you may be experiencing, or new environments that you are sharing together with your child, it's bringing up some form of creativity in terms of words and also writing. But I'm also picking up here that you have a child that's very interested in evolving their language, meaning you could have someone who all of a sudden is interested in spelling bee, or perhaps, just learning new vocabulary, or asking you to read them more books, or wanting to, I'm getting strongly here, if you haven't already, your little Aquarius child during the month of October could highly, highly benefit from new books. So any new, if you're dealing with a young adult, get some new young adult novels. If you're dealing with a little one, get some new books. Go out and take your little one to, and actually it's funny because that's tied into what your child needs most from you. And it's all about creativity. So we'll come back to that. However, with this particular energy here, I think it's very important for you, the parent, the guardian, to encourage this energy that your little Aquarius is currently embracing, because she very much is in his or her element here, or wants to be, right? So the King of Swords is someone who has already achieved that point. So I think your child is already there. But you want to also sustain that, right? And add to this achievement, or encourage it. So if maybe you have a little one that's interested in writing stories, then encourage that. Encourage them to write a story and get their brains stimulated and going, and let them know that it's a good thing, that it's great that they're getting into this. I don't necessarily feel that your little Aquarius needs your permission because I feel like your little one is very much already in that power. Okay, so good job, parent, guardian, for facilitating that for your little one. It looks good. And then for the challenge, you have you have the Two of Pentacles, which is about trying to achieve balance between tangibles, right? Or even needing to choose between tangibles. And what I mean by that, tangibles is, in this context, as from the context of a child, or from the perspective of a child, tangibles, when we get older as adults, pentacles, that's what we're building security, we're building our home, our car, our careers, our literal money in the bank. But for a child, pentacles can be as simple as their time, because that is the biggest or most important currency there is, right? When it comes to tangibles, our time. And so your child may be struggling with balancing his or her time with what they want to do, which could be storytelling, writing some fun little poems or stories, or talking about what's going on with her little neighbor friend, or talking about a word they're interested in, right? So you may have a little one whose current curriculum at school, perhaps, is not necessarily aligned with what they want to do or what they want to spend time on. So, or it could also be as simple as balancing their chores, right? Because again, the tangibilities and the pentacles are going to be different from a child's perspective. And so you may have a little one here, finding it difficult to balance that. Like they really want to go write and talk and all that good stuff. But yeah, so where you can help your little one achieve the balance that they need here. So I think what Spirit wants you here to be aware that this is something that little Aquarius may struggle with in October, and you can very much help with this process. And sometimes it could be as simple as giving your child permission to, maybe let's say, for example, every Thursday you ask your child to wash the dishes, right? But there is something that, there's a show he really wants to watch on storytelling or writing, or they want to do something else that's a little bit more stimulating to their mind. Then maybe you want to consider giving them permission, right? Especially if you have a little one who's consistent and never really flakes out on their chores, then maybe all your little one needs here is for you to say, it's okay. It's okay, my little Aquarius. If you want to go do that, go ahead. And you will automatically ease that difficulty and challenge that they may be carrying. Little ones do carry burdens, whether or not we know it, right? And obviously it's going to be from the perspective of depending on what age range they are, right? Because we're dealing with different age ranges here. Some of you might be here for a preschooler. Some of you might be here for a little toddler. Others of you may be here for a fourth grader, a fifth grader, or maybe some of you are here for young adults. Whatever age range you're here for, it's going to vary, right? What this balance, what they're trying to do here, it's going to depend on their perspective and their world based on their age range. So please keep that in mind. But I do see that little Aquarians right now need to write, and they need to write the truth in terms of the world as they see it. And you're going to be the intricate piece here to making the space and paving the space for them to do this. Okay, hope that makes sense. And what your little Aquarius needs most from you in the month of October is to encourage and to acknowledge their creativity and how far they've come, because the King of Wands already sits in their power of creativity, right? And you have this little guy holding the lion, which is symbolic of Leo here, right? And wands being the suit of the fire, it represents fire. And so you have a child that is Aquarius, so by nature is ruled by air, or swords here symbolizes air, right? So they're already in their element, but in addition to being in their element, they really need their creativity. They need to also be allowed the space for their creativity. Their energy needs to be acknowledged, and what they're putting their time and effort into needs to be acknowledged, right? Leo does typically, depending, and it has nothing to do with evolution here. You can have a Leo that is very, very highly evolved here, and they still very much appreciate being acknowledged. And so what your little Aquarius needs from you in the month of October is to be aware of that. Bring it up. Allow them, just let them know that they're on the right path with the things they're creating or the interests that they have. Because I think this is going to come a long way. You got two king cards here. And for a child, It's interesting to get two king cards, right? But here's the deal. Aquarians are way ahead of their time, right? They're constantly thinking about the future. So your kiddo here, these stories that he or she is coming up with, this reality that they're creating, this other reality that they're creating in terms of words and storytelling and writing and all of that, or just anything that they're coming up with in their minds in terms of these worlds. Basically what I'm getting is that you have a child here creating a fantasy world, whether it's rooted in fantastical or reality. It could go either way, but you do have someone way ahead of their time here, right? So, and you may be recognizing that. And here, your child needs you. Oh, and I just really got this heavily. Your child needs you, guardian, mom, dad, to speak to them and treat them as if they are in their element and as they are the king of whatever they are creating, king or queen, right? Sometimes I'm getting this heavily too. You may be tempted, and this is only going to pertain to maybe one or two of you listening because it's very specific. But I think the other thing that needs to be considered here is to treat your child, to meet your child at whatever level they are. So, this is coming in very, very strongly. So please listen to this. If you have a 4-year-old who perhaps is behaving like an 8-year-old when it comes to their intellect, how they are expressing themselves, treat them like that 8-year-old, 10-year-old, or what have you. Give them the respect of whatever level they are showing up as. I hope that makes sense. That's like the best way I could articulate it, but it came in heavily. So basically, don't be afraid of your child's intellect. If your child's intellect is above and beyond what the other kiddos his or her age are expressing, it's okay. It's okay. Don't be afraid to encourage it and allow your little child to show up like a king and not like not always like a page, right? Because the page are children, they're little ones, they're young. The king is fully evolved. So it's okay, dear parent and guardian, that your child is beyond their years when it comes to their intellect, their words, and how they express themselves. That came in very strongly. So please, I hope you heard that. And sometimes it takes a while, right? If you're a reader, you know what I'm talking about. If you read tarot or astrology, it's like, I find myself stumbling sometimes in the beginning as I'm getting in my flow, and then boom, it just pops up and it's like nonstop. Then the floodgates open. But anyhow, that came in strongly. Please, I hope that helps someone. So anyhow, let's move on. I'm keeping the child spread very simple with these 3 questions because I think for children it's so delicate, right? So we need to keep things simple. So I'm keeping that here, and then I'm going to ask Spirit for an advice card for you, the parent, as it pertains to your child in the month of October. And I'm going to take a card from this deck, the Gaian Tarot. I love that deck because every card has an affirmation and every card looks like actual photography, and it's very diverse in terms of the people and backgrounds and whatnot. So Spirit, what advice do you have for the parent of the Aquarius child during the month of October? And you may already be experiencing this in September. All right. Here's your advice. 1 card, please. Okay. All right, so you got the 10 of Earth. Hope you can see that. You see man walking here, hiking, taking a little hike through the woods. It's a beautiful card. So 10 of Earth is, it's 10 of Pentacles. And this is a beautiful card to get in general because it speaks of fulfillment, like all fulfillment in all areas of life. So not just emotional, but also fulfillment in terms of the tangibles, right? So the pentacles, all things having to do with stability and security and also spirituality. So if this is coming up as your advice, Spirit is encouraging you, the parent, to take some time out and be in nature. And so, and this could actually be the catalyst. One of the things I'm noticing as I continue doing these readings here is that this position here, the advice for the parent, typically is tied into the balance card, or not this position, which is the challenge. So typically what I'm finding during my reads here is that this card offers a solution for your child's challenge. So in your case, in terms of the advice, is perhaps breaking the space between their creativity and their chores or the have-tos, whatever homework they may have, perhaps going into nature, you yourself to bring back groundedness to your child, or you with your child, perhaps that in-between break, so going on a hike, going on a little walk, going to, see a sunset on the beach, whatever nature is near your environment, whatever you have, it's going to be different for everyone, right? Your nature might be as simple as going to your backyard and enjoying the water fountain, or going across the street and looking at your neighbor's tree, or actually walking in the forest. It's going to be different for everyone. So I think here, if I read it this way in terms of this is the solution to your child's challenge, I think that you yourself can benefit from getting grounded yourself and bring that, infuse that into your child to make them feel more stable in dealing with this balance challenge, right? And also, your child could benefit from you encouraging this, element of being out in nature to break up the decision factor. In other words, maybe between a chore, maybe if your child ends his chores at 3 o'clock but wants to write at 5 p.m., then maybe between that time frame you can take your child into nature or spend some time with them, right? If you're someone who has a difficult time getting out into nature, you can create your own earthing pads at home. So for example, let's say you live in a condo or apartment and all you have is a little balcony. You could literally get a little tab, get organic soil on it, fill it up with soil, and every so often step into that and do some earthing. Or it can be as simple as grabbing, a quartz or a crystal and just touching it and just kind of holding it for a little bit. And, again, it's going to be different for everyone. It has to do with whatever it is you have available to you. And there aren't any things that are better. It's a matter of what vibration, what energy and frequency does that thing bring you into. That's what's important. Okay, so holding a stone might bring the same frequency and energy to you as earthing or going for a hike or going for a walk or sitting and watching the sunset, right? Anyhow, I think you get my gist. You get my drift there. Yes, so bring your child into this nature, break things up for him or her a little bit, allow them to express themselves, allow them to do some storytelling, to create, speak to them at their level, and don't be afraid of how ahead of the curve your child is. That, my friends, is the bottom line. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this helped someone. And leave your comments. I'd be interested in knowing what you thought. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.